did a US military GPS jamming drill effectively set a civilian medevac up to fail, turning 4 crew members into collateral damage for an electronic warfare exercise? How did an experimental jammer at White Sands strip a New Mexico medevac of its navigation mid-flight? And why were jammers turned back on just minutes before the aircraft hit a mountain? If a routine medical flight can fall prey to US electronic warfare inside domestic airspace, what does that say about the safeguards protecting civil aviation from military testing? Why was a medevac forced to navigate visually in dark, mountainous terrain after a GPS blackout? And how did controllers and pilots miss the rising Capitan ridgeline until it was too late? After this crash, can the Pentagon still claim its secret jamming and EW trials are safe? Or is US weapons testing now a direct threat to anyone flying in the same sky? A US military GPS jamming exercise reportedly contributed to a fatal medical evacuation crash, turning routine electronic warfare training into a real-world tragedy. The aircraft slammed into a mountain during that test in New Mexico in May, as the crew flew blind through a region saturated with interference. All 4 people on board were killed after the King Air lost navigation capability, leaving the pilots disoriented in dark, mountainous terrain. The medevac had departed Roswell for Ruidoso when GPS disruptions were first reported, forcing the crew off familiar satellite guidance and onto rarely used backups. Investigators traced the GPS jamming to a military exercise at White Sands Missile Range, part of a NavFest electronic warfare campaign spanning southern New Mexico. At least 3 other aircraft in the area also reported navigation disruptions during the exercise, confirming the jamming wasn't a glitch but a wide area test. Low visibility and heavy air traffic control demands worsened the situation, as controllers juggled multiple GPS-affected flights while weather data at the destination lagged. The crew failed to detect the rising mountainous terrain before impact, a Wired report revealed, highlighting how quickly situational awareness collapses once GPS goes dark. Aviation analysts say the sudden loss of GPS navigation can be deeply disorienting for modern crews, who now rely on satellite guidance for maps, terrain alerts, and positional fixes. This is the first known case of military GPS jamming contributing to a civilian air crash in US airspace, a precedent that has jolted regulators and safety investigators. Reported GPS interference events in the US have risen sharply in recent years, as more military testing overlaps with busy civilian corridors. The AOPA says documented GPS interference incidents jumped from just 4 in 2020 to 50 in 2024, a more than 10-fold spike that pilots can no longer treat as rare. In New Mexico, the crew had been warned before departure that GPS interference might be present, but the advisory proved insufficient once the signal actually vanished. The preliminary report said existing safeguards failed to prevent the deadly accident, exposing gaps in how tests are run in shared airspace. The crash now raises hard questions about US military testing and civil aviation safety. How far electronic warfare drills can go before America's own skies become an unintended battlefield.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.